Hey guys and gals, George Adventure here. Gonna do a video on some wild edible plants. I'm not gonna get into a lot of detail because I'm no expert, but I'm just gonna show you a couple, and then I'm going to just kind of give you some advice. So anyways, I've got a good bit of woods here behind my house. This is my house, but I'm gonna walk on back in here. There's hundreds of acres back here, so I'm gonna walk. But anyway, first plant you need to watch out for. Some things you need to watch out for if you're in the woods, especially in the spring and summer months, is you got to watch out for snakes. You know, you always need to look down when you're walking, look for snakes. You might want to spray yourself with a tick repellent, because there's ticks. You can see how thick this is. But so one of the there's just some poison ivy right there. But the first couple of edibles that I found is you've got blackberry right here. You can see right here. And blackberries are common, pretty common. I know they are in the South. But this is one of the plants right here you can find, and you can find them on the roadside. Matter of fact, I'm gonna come and mark this one, but you can find a lot of them on the side of the road or in fence lines or whatever. They like sun. They like a lot of sun. So you can see right here, and they have briars on them. They prefer full sun to produce the fruit, the berry. And they do have a lot of thorns on them. But you can see this one right here. Matter of fact, you can see the blackberries right here. So that's some blackberries. Blackberries are good to make cobbler. They're a berry. They're good to eat. You know, so if you're foraging around, walking around the woods, that's a good thing to find. Another one is wild grapes. This is a wild grape, or, you know, depends on where you're from. We call them muscadimes. You got muscadime, you got scupperdime. A lot of people call them wild grapes. And there's your poison ivy. And the woods back here behind my house is loaded with them. There's another wild grape right there. And they have a pretty big vine. You can see right here. And they grow. They'll grow up a tree. But they also like full sun. I'm gonna walk back here. This is a big, huge pine tree I have in my back behind my house. This thing's probably 80 feet tall. I just hope and pray it don't fall. But you can see the muscadine vines here. Like I say, when you're walking, you know, and I always carry some type of a knife with me. I actually have my Zulu with me today, and I've got another one in my little bag. I'm gonna show you this little bag here when we stop. But you always want to look down when you're walking, you know, because you never know, you could have a poisonous snake. But anyhow, those are two of the wild edibles that you find. This is a sweet gum tree, of course. Sweet gum tree grows about 4 foot a year. They're very fast growing trees. So I'm back here on this creek. There's a creek back here. And you can just look and see the greenery. But me being, I guess I could call myself a novice on plant identification. And I'm not ashamed to admit it, but I am. You just see so many plants, and it takes years of experience to learn, trial and error. But one thing you got to do before you eat any of them, you need to really be certain that it's edible. You know, that's one of the things you gotta make sure you do. You got to be sure that you're edible, and that includes mushrooms. And usually I see a lot of mushrooms back here. I'm looking, but there's edible mushrooms, and I don't have my mushroom book with me, but there's a lot of mushrooms that are edible. There's some that's not. Just like wild plants, there's a lot that's edible, but there's some that's not. And if you eat one that's not edible, that's poison, it can cause death. So you need to remember that. But you can see there's more muscadine vines here. I'll show you. You can see the muscadine vines. These are all in the shade. But if you're lucky and you can find one, like in that sun there, you can get you some. And I know in the south muscadines are pretty plentiful, as blackberries are. And I'm walking, when you see these sunny spots, that's where you need to look for snakes, because they like the sun. And you just need to take your time and walk. Pay attention to what you're looking for, and watch where you're walking, because like I said, you don't want to come across a rattlesnake or a copperhead and get bit. This is a little creek. This little creek goes a long ways. I like to walk back here. There's a lot of woods back here. It's nice having it. So when you walk along, you just kind of pay attention to your surroundings. And I'm going to show you what I carry here. Let me hang it up right here. So when I'm out foraging, or when I'm looking for mushrooms or anything like that, I got this bag. And this is just an old military bag. It's an old Corps of Engineer bag. You can see the logo, and it's a handy little bag. It opens up like you can see, and so I got a book. I carry my mushroom stuff sometimes. It's also got little pouches in here. And one of the things I recommend is when you're out foraging is carry you a little book, little notebook, and you can write down, you know, where you're at. You can use the concordance, or write down, yeah, the mosquitoes are bad back here, write down your concordance, and you can write down, you know, what you find, where you find. And this is just some information on mushrooms. And mushroom is a fungus, and they like trees and oaks, beech, birch, hemlock, spruce, pine, ash, hickory, logs, and leaf litter. And you can see there should be some mushrooms around in here. But just carry you a little notebook to just to take notes, write down what you find. I've wrote down eating, start with a small amount, cook well, be 100% positive your mushroom. So that's important. Carry a knife, you know, and I've got a couple with me today. I've got this one. This knife is actually just an old GI mess kit knife. I bought 2 of them, and I bought 2 of them at a flea market. I think $5 a piece, and they're real. The blade is real thin, so they slice good. It's a stainless steel blade, and it's an aluminum handle. But I did put this wood in here. You can see I put that wood in there just to kind of make it, you know, just dress it up a little bit. But this knife you know, this knife is pretty sharp. You can see it's sharp. I've sharpened it. It's got, like I said, it's got a thin slicing blade on it, so it's good for, you know, for gathering mushrooms or whatever. So I keep it in a holster I made. I've got some books, and my recommendation, if you're going to go in the woods and look, especially if you're new at it, even if you're an expert, it doesn't help. I mean, it helps to carry a book. Carry a plant identification book like this. There's many type books that you can get. You can get them off Amazon or at a bookstore, Barnes and Noble or wherever. The military has them, so you can find them. Dave Canterbury sells them, but on his bushcraft and his bushcraft site. Helps you with plant identification. See, this one has pictures. This isn't my favorite one, but it's just got pictures in it. Tells you about the plants. You can see. So my advice is carry a book with you, and you'll be, you know, it gives you a lot of advice on plants. Like you just wouldn't get this one, start eating it. You know, you need to be able to identify it. A lot of trees, you know, like an oak tree, you know, you can eat oak acorns, white oak acorns, red oak acorns. There's an oak tree there. There's things you have to do. You have to soak them in water and get the acid out, and then you can actually make flour. I've had flour made out of acorns before. You just have to soak them for several days to get the acid out, pour the water off. So that's another way. But like I said, if you want to, you know, if you want to do this and you're interested in it, you know, get you a little bag of some kind, put your stuff in it, and you can, you know, it makes for a nice day just getting out in the woods. Be smart, you know, wear boots. You know, carry a knife. Sometimes I even carry a pistol with me, just for snakes, or, you know, sometimes you even have two-legged snakes you got to worry about. But you know, carry a knife, and then, you know, you can carry a couple books, carry a little fold-out guide, and you can just ease around like I'm doing. So I'm just easing and looking, and some more wild grapes. But you'd be surprised what you can find in the woods if you're walking along. You just never know. I'm looking for some mushrooms. Thought I might find some, but I'm right here on this creek. You know, so it's getting kind of a little bit mushy, but you know, just take your time and walk. Just look around. When you're walking, you know, you got briars. You're gonna have briars. You're gonna have some insects. You're gonna have some mosquitoes, different things like that. You may have to walk through some thick stuff like this right here. So it's pretty thick right here. There's a little creek, and these woods here, they go for a long ways, you know. But the county I live in Georgia, is pretty rural still, so we're blessed with that. When you're walking through stuff like this, look for poison oak, poison ivy. See, there's some poison oak right there. It's all mixed in, so just be careful. I'm not allergic to it, so it doesn't bother me. But I still, for those of you that are, you just need to watch out. And when you're walking through a little thick stuff like this, you really need to be aware of snakes. You just need to kind of take your time with poison oak. But you can see there's a lot of plants just growing up, and when you walk through plants like this is where you get ticks. Because what a tick does, a tick will be on a leaf or a stem of a woody plant, and they have their legs stuck out like that. So when you walk by, or a deer or a rabbit or whatever they call it, the host, the tick will cling to the animal will walk by, and the front legs of it will cling to the fur, so they get on you. So, and what they do, they walk up and they find a dark, moist place. And I've had Rocky Mountain spotted fever. You don't want to get that. I've had it 2 times. So you don't want to get that. It's not good. You don't have any kind of permanent effects from it, but you know, but it's cool just to look around at your surroundings when you're out in the woods. You know, you can just look at, you know, how beautiful and serene it is out here. You know, you can listen to the birds, just look around for things, see what you see, you know. Kind of neat, you know. Always be aware of snakes. Always be aware of ticks, stuff like that, because you will get them, trust me, and you will see a snake. I've seen many of them in the woods. But you can see the forest floor here. It's just covered up with wild grapes. There's a lot of them back here. Poison oak. You got poison ivy. Poison ivy it climbs up a tree. Them little sunny spots. That's where I look for the snakes. Now we got some wild ferns here. Just a lot of plant life, which is good. You see right over here as you go. A lot of big trees back here. But anyway, here's a blackberry. It's actually growing up, and it gets a lot of sun right here, so it'll grow on up. And there's one. You know, so if you like blackberries, you can mark them or remember where they're at, try to mark them, or you can draw a little map, or I use X Hunt to mark stuff. I don't see any mushrooms though. That's what I was hoping to see. Hoping to see a few mushrooms. A lot of poison oak and poison ivy here I'm walking through. But like I said, I'm not allergic to it. And muscadines and blackberries are usually ready June, end of June, early July. They're usually ready. There's another blackberry one right there. So, but they're usually ready. There's blackberry. And just some poison oak. Yeah, so it's there. You know, a lot of people aren't allergic to it. I'm not, but some people can just get by, or just get around it, and they get it. You know, that's not a good thing. Try to find some mushrooms back here. Trying to find some mushrooms. There's the creek up there. Got plenty of water in it. It goes on down. Had a tree fall back here. I'm gonna have to cut it up. But there's usually a good bit of mushrooms back here. Certain kinds of mushrooms come up different times of the year. You know, that's the thing. You know, morels I think are between March and May. There's the creek. But I think morels, you know, you don't see them much after the end of May or early June. Then you got different ones coming up. You got turkey tails. You got certain ones that are edible. And my advice is to get you a little manual, a little book, just like I got this little pack here on, this little satchel, whatever you want to call it, little tote bag. Just get that and put you a few items in it. Put you a knife, put you some fire starting stuff, put you a couple books, and make you a day out of it. Take you some water, a few snacks. You know, carry a little day pack and make a day out of it. Now I'm back here, you know, behind my house, and we got a lot of woods back here, so, but if I was somewhere else, that's what I would do. You can see right here, muscadine vine. There's an oak tree right here, muscadine vine. Another good thing to learn is your trees, because, you know, some trees produce food, and they produce food for different animals. So if you're interested in deer or hunting deer, well, you want to find a white oak, some kind of oak tree. You know, find yellow poplars. You got a mushroom area. Some oak trees, you know, you have a mushroom area. But anyway, that's the deal. I'm gonna walk back here and check it out. But get out in the woods, man. It's a great time. It's enjoyable. You know, do some plant identification, do edible plants, you know, trees, you know, identify trees. I know my trees pretty well because I've always hunted, so I know my trees. I know the ones that are beneficial to wildlife and stuff. Well, all trees are beneficial to wildlife, whether it's, you know, deer, game, or songbirds or whatever. And I'm looking as I walk. So wanna make sure you do that. Look along the floor of the woods, because you never know who might be laying there. And a rattlesnake or a copperhead are very, very hard to see because of the color of them. So you don't want to take it for granted, because they blend in because of the color of them. So you want to make sure that you look down and pay attention, because you don't want to step on one. You know, and if you want to buy some snake boots or something, you know, that's always good, but don't let them give you a false sense of security either. You know, you still need to learn to look down. So back here, part of the creek, it goes on up through there. I'm gonna walk through here. Get back over here. So there's just an abundant of stuff. There's more muscadine vines. A lot more muscadine vines up here. The muscadine vines like to cling. You can see they like to cling to other trees or anything. You can actually get a wild muscadine vine and build a trellis for it, and they will use it. And if it's out in the sun, you'll get muscadines. Sure will. So that's another good thing. I'm not sure what that is, but we're gonna walk along here. I'm coming out here on this trail. So got a lizard right here. I don't know if you can see him. I don't know if he's alive or dead. I think he's dead. Something must have happened to him. But anyway, that's one of the things if you want to do. Like I said, get you a little tote bag, get you a knife, or take you a little day pack. Put you a couple books in there, some guides that tells you what edible plants, has pictures in there. If you want to do mushrooms, same way. Don't eat anything that you're not sure of, 100% sure of. Identify them 100%. You know, some plants you can rub on your lip, you know, and if it don't burn after a little while, or your lip gets numb, they're probably okay. Then you can chew it a little bit, but don't swallow. Mushrooms, you want exactly a positive identification on mushrooms. So get you a mushroom book, get you an edible plant book, and do that. Don't eat anything that you're not 100% sure. Carry a knife, carry some water, carry some snacks, first aid kit, a little first aid kit, maybe some fire stuff, a knife, and just enjoy the outdoors, because it's a wonderful place to be. So it's George Adventure here, and I'm gonna get off of here. If you like my video, appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel, hit the like, and leave a comment. Like I said, I am no wild edible plant expert by any means. I'm actually still learning a lot myself. I've just started. I know my trees very well and some wild plants, but I'm trying to learn. I'm learning some others, so I get out with my book and do the same thing. There's you another blackberry. So anyways, I sure appreciate if you subscribe to my channel. And with that, George Adventure signing off. God bless you. Be safe out there.